All right, everybody, it is 12:01, so we'll just get started. Hi, I'm Sarah, and I'm on the marketing team here at Northland. I wanted to welcome you to our webinar this afternoon, and also thank you for your partnership. We value it, and we're happy you're here, and we look forward to sharing with you what we've been up to. So this afternoon, we're going to spend about 30 minutes talking about our transition to Yealink, and then at the end, we'll leave time for some questions. A few things I just want to go over quick before we get started. At the bottom of your screen, you'll see a Q&A box. If at any point you have a question, just throw it right in there and we can get those answered at the end. We're also recording this webinar so that we can email it over to you at the end for reference, and we'll also email you over the slide deck and a pricing sheet. Our speaker this afternoon is Stephanie Van Dyke, our product line manager. We also have Stacy Mayer and Jay McLean here with us, who are part of the product development team and have helped Steph get this project off the ground. They'll be around to help answer any questions you may have. And with that, I can hand it right over to Steph to get started.
Thank you, Sarah. Hi, everyone. Good morning / afternoon. This is a strange time to say good morning or good afternoon, so whatever you prefer. Just want to make sure, quick check, can everyone hear our presentation as Sarah and I are talking? If you can shoot a chat into the Q&A so we can make sure that everyone can hear us. Okay. All right, we're getting some yeses, so great. So good morning. Welcome to our webinar to introduce our new Yealink endpoints into our Business Unlimited portfolio. I do see a few familiar names from my previous life here as an account executive, and I do see some new ones, so if I have not met you in person in the past, nice to meet you. We're excited to have you guys here with us today. As Sarah said, we value your partnership. We wanted to meet with you in more of a quote-unquote one-on-one setting to give you some insight, so not only into the new phones that we're bringing into our portfolio, but to kind of talk to you as far as our business rules and our support model as we navigate through this migration period and continue to support our mutual customers, being that we have so many of those between Northland and our channel partners. Just a quick heads up, this session isn't really intended to be a product demo. It's going to be brief and to the point. There will be photos and specifications for each new device, but it's really intended to just be an informational session for, again, our channel partners and allow you guys to ask us some questions. I do have my moral and technical support here, Stacy and Jay, who, as Sarah mentioned, sit on the product team with myself, and we've been working on this project for the last few months, so they will assist me in the Q&A at the end of the presentation. If you do, at the end of this, decide that you want a deeper dive beyond the information that Sarah will send to you post-webinar, just reach out to your sales rep. They know that we're meeting today, so they can help you get started with anything else that you need. Okay, so let's jump into it. Today's agenda, starting with the obvious. What are the new endpoints? Why are we doing this? So this all stemmed from collecting customer and technical feedback from both our internal technical teams and partners like yourselves to look at the functionality of our endpoints that we were offering within Business Unlimited. We're going to talk, as I said, a bit about what is our position and our business policies on carefully handling this transition as we work through what are we doing to continue to support our current existing customers who are using the Mitel phones, and then what does it look like for new customers as we transition through this next few months. We did decide to standardize on headsets for our Business Unlimited offering as well, and this is new to us. It was a little bit of the wild, wild west out there prior to this change when it came to headsets. So we'll talk about that a little bit, focusing on, why are we standardizing on a select number of headsets for this offering, and what are the expectations around the headsets that we decided on. I'll do a quick overview of the 3 new phone options plus the new expansion module option, and then overview of what the new headsets are, what they look like, and what those options will be for our customers. So what are the new devices that we selected? So as of Friday, the Mitel 6867i has been replaced with a comparable Yealink model called the T54. Again, at the end of this, I will be showing you a photo of it and pointing out what the differences between the previous model and the replacement are. The common area phone, the Mitel 6863, which was used in break rooms, walls, kitchen areas, those type of common spaces, replaced with Yealink T33G. The expansion module, which was the 685i under the Mitel portfolio, has been replaced with a similar model, again, Yealink. And then something a little bit more exciting is that we did decide to add a third phone option into our portfolio to be able to better right size our customers into a phone option within their solution that is a good fit for them. So this T58 phone is a little bit higher end. It has a bigger screen. It is touch screen. We're communicating this out to our customers as being more of like an executive level phone, but it truly can be used for any end user that wishes to have this model. As I mentioned, so prior to May 21st, we were partnering with Plantronics throughout, our pretty much recent history. And the way that it functioned was really our sales team and our sales engineering team working with the customer to attempt to navigate through the Plantronics website, which if you have any familiarity with that, is a bit cumbersome and overwhelming. There's hundreds of options. There's a million different ways that you can choose a headset based on comfort level and XYZ, and everyone needs a different cord to connect to a different phone. So it became very overwhelming, and it was causing a lot of not trouble tickets, but job change orders, and just a more difficult customer experience, honestly. So when we were looking at streamlining everything under the Yealink umbrella, Yealink approached us and said, hey, we have these headsets that are made for these phones. I mean, this is what they are literally made for. They're plug and play compatible. So we took a look at their entire portfolio and we looked at, okay, what are our customers buying today as far as the high level of their comfort, 1-ear, 2-ear, decked models, USB models, and we standardized on 7 different options. And these, after Friday, are the only headsets that customers, these 7 that you see listed here, that customers can purchase through Northland for the Business Unlimited solution. Now, headsets, from our perspective, have always had the option to be BYOD. Customer can still go out to the Plantronics website or Jabra or Amazon or anywhere and fulfill their own headset order. But if they want to purchase the headset through Northland and have our support on that headset from a troubleshooting perspective, then they will have to select from one of these 7 headsets. So why are we making this change? So this all stemmed from some conversations that have been floating around for the last few years about 2 major topics, looking at the technical and security limitations on the Mitel sets, as well as some feature limitations. So starting with the technical side, we ran into, as you always do in this world of technology, some minor bumps in the road. And the experience that we had with attempting to interface with Mitel directly as a vendor and as a manufacturer was, I will just say, less than a happy experience. It was a little bit of a struggle for us. So the sets themselves had a limitation on them as well, from being able to enable TLS and SRTP to allow for voice encryption to the phone. So when we were approaching Mitel to attempt to resolve what we felt was an issue, like I said, the experience wasn't exactly the best. So this prompted us to go out and start exploring what other options were out there. So during that search, working with Yealink, we had already moved our conference phone option and our cordless phone option to Yealink. So they were one of the first manufacturers that we reached out to. And from an experience level, the access to the technical and the support resources from Yealink has been really incredible. And it really provided us with a level of comfort to say, okay, obviously we are going to do everything we can to make sure that there is no issues with the endpoint packs or the feature compatibility with the Metaswitch platform. But if we do run across something again, we have a much higher comfort level with that experience with Yealink, that we will get the support and the resources that we need to resolve it, and resolve it quickly for our customers. So it was more similar to the Northland experience that we give to our customers from technical and support perspective that we were getting from Yealink. So that was really the driving reason. And once we brought in Yealink, brought in some demo phones, started working through our own R&D process internally, we started to uncover all these other amazing reasons and technical feature-driven reasons why this is the right thing to do. So just to kind of talk through a few of those, at the installation, if any of you, I know some of you that are on this call have been consistent partners with us and being the feet on the ground with us while we're working through an on-site customer installation, to be able to go from a boot up time of 10 or more full minutes to a minute and a half or less when you're looking to get phones up and running and make test calls and get the customer going during the cutover. Not only are you reducing that wait time, but that's allowing for a much better technical and customer experience. We are going to be enabling TLS and SRTP by default for all of these customers that are using the Yealink phones. So again, default voice encryption on all the phones that we're installing. The phones themselves, from a feature perspective, just a little higher end aesthetic. Every model does come with a color display now versus the grayscale. We do offer a broader variation of ringtone options. We were getting some feedback from customers with these MyTel sets that the variation in the ringtones was not distinctive enough for them to identify that that was their phone ringing when they weren't at their desk. So these new sets will allow for that. And unlocking some features, if you've been around with us in the Avaya IP Office world, things such as hot desking, which is being able to log in and out pretty seamlessly from any of the phones within the business group. Visual voicemail, so on the display of your phone, being able to navigate through your voicemails and listen to and delete them versus having to dial in. And as Jay says, listen to the lady in the box and put in your password. Now you can navigate through all of those on the phone display itself. The ad hoc audio conference bridge management tool. So what this is describing is, again, another old Avaya feature that we and our customers got very accustomed to having, was when you are on an ad hoc conference call, audio only, you're able to use your phone display to see who is on the phone, who is on the conference call. You're able to mute participants, and you're even able to drop participants right from your phone display. So a lot of benefits from technical and feature perspective. And as we pushed through this project, it was a nice value add that we found. Now we do have that third phone option. As I said earlier, now we're better right sizing our customers to a phone that maybe has the aesthetic and the look and the feel that they were going for with that third higher end executive level phone option. And the nice thing was, as I mentioned earlier, we had already opted to go with Yealink for the conference phone and the cordless option. So now we've got a more cohesive feel in our portfolio. Now our conference phone, our cordless phone, all the desk phones and the headsets that we offer are under one manufacturer. we ensured as we worked through this process that we were on the cutting edge of what was coming out from Yealink. Again, that Yealink experience of them making us feel prioritized and valued and keeping us in the know and being very transparent about, okay, these models will be end of lifing at this time over the next year or two, and here's what's coming next. So it gave us the ability to make sure that the devices that we were selecting, we weren't going to have to turn around in a year or 6 months and tell our customers, hey, these are going to be end of life, we're going with this option now. So we made sure that everything that we did was cohesive, it looks good together, and we're setting ourselves up for support and functionality for at least the next few years to come. All right, so let's talk through our policies for the transition. We divided it up into 3 major categories. The first one being, what are we doing for our existing customers who are currently in a contract with Northland or who have recently signed a contract that the cutover has been scheduled already, meaning we've already ordered the Mitel phones, the customers worked through the system programming form, we have potentially shipped the phones to the customer, and we're just waiting on the actual cutover date. So I had an email actually come through from someone that's attending this webinar today with some really excellent questions about this, and I want to ensure everyone here that our current customers who are using our Business Unlimited solution today, who have Mitel phones, will continue to have Northland support and trouble ticketing process, work order process, phone replacement, exactly the way that they have and that they have always had since the beginning of their contract. We will continue to support and maintain that for them throughout the duration of their contract. On the flip side of that, we are not, for customers who are in the midst of a current contract, we are not using this change as leverage to have a customer touch point or to get in front of someone who we haven't maybe talked to in a while, because we really do, from a financial perspective, our position is that the customer needs to fulfill their contract, as we are on our end, until the end of that contract term. Now on the next slide, I will talk about our position at renewal. We'll talk about that a little bit, but just again, to reiterate, any customers who call in for a trouble ticket or a work order where a phone is determined that it does need replacement, it will be replaced with the same model. We're going to continue to carry inventory of the Mitel phones for a period of time. That TBD is kind of important. Long term, as we watch the dust settle from this transition and the change, we will eventually be establishing some milestones out in the future, probably 3 to 5 years, for end of replacement date. So after this date, Mr. Customer, we can no longer replace your Mitel phone with a Mitel phone, and then an end of support date. So again, these are far out in the future. And as you'll see on the next few slides, we're going to be working hard through contract renewals and new customers and solution changes to really encourage our customers at the right time to be making the transition from Mitel to Yealink. One caveat to that is multi-site customers who are adding a brand new location to their overall solution will actually have the option, through working with their sales rep, for the new location only if they want the Mitel or Yealink telephones. And we keep using the example of an office, a multi-site office that's maybe opening a satellite location out in Chicago or Philadelphia, and they have no expectation or don't anticipate their employees to be traveling back and forth between offices and learning new phones. They know in the back of their mind, okay, at the end of my contract, Northland's going to be coming to us to talk about a Yealink migration anyway, so let's be proactive. Let's get the Yealink phones in at my satellite office, and then we'll handle the existing locations when it comes time for the renewal. That's just one example. Obviously, there can, everything is situational, and our sales team has been very carefully trained and guided on making sure that we're having those kind of conversations with customers, and again, being as transparent as we can be about what's coming in the near future. So contract renewals are a position at the time of renewal once the contract has been entirely fulfilled by both Northland and the customer. We will be taking the position of encouraging our customers at that time to migrate and upgrade from their current MyTel phones to Yealink sets at the renewal. The benefit to doing that is you're getting a phone with a little bit more functionality. You get the color display. We are not going to be charging any sort of upgrade fee or conversion fee. The simplicity of it is that the customer renews their contract with us. We're going to start it as a brand new contract. You're going to get the new phones, the latest and greatest, the upgraded models, just like a brand new customer would. We will hold your hand through that process. We will provide you with the training videos and end user training guides, just like we do for the current sets. And we're going to set both ourselves and the customer up for the best transition experience as possible. And then for new Northland Business Unlimited customers, as of Friday, any sale closed will be installed with Yealink phones. Again, I think I kind of touched on this a little bit earlier. If, there's going to be a little bit of a strange interim period for a handful of customers that I think we, honestly, at this point, we have already gotten through all of them. But that example I gave of maybe the customer moved forward with the agreement at the end of April, but they needed to hold off until June for whatever reason for the installation. We may have already ordered the MyTel phones and we may have already programmed, shipped them, and scheduled that cutover. Those will continue to move forward with the solution as is on their contract. But again, keeping in mind, we're going to continue to support those customers, provide phone replacement, just as if we never made this change. But anything after Friday's date, MyTel will no longer be an option, and Yealink will be our offering going forward. And in continuance of our current policy, we do not allow customers to BYOD. Customer must use Northland provided phones, whether it's the same exact model or not. We do not allow customers to bring their own phone to our Business Unlimited solution. All right, so one last slide surrounding some expectations, and then we'll jump into the phones and headsets themselves. As I said earlier, the headset concept of these being the headsets that we offer and the only devices for headset options that are within our offering that you can purchase from Northland after Friday's date, last Friday's date, the 21st. So the phones, as I assume everyone on this call knows, the phones we do offer as a monthly recurring add-on cost to the subscriber licensing, or you have the ability to purchase the phones outright. So the headsets are a little bit different. Headsets are only going to be available as a one-time purchase. And these, although we will support them from a technical and troubleshooting perspective, these are not a full replacement item. Customer expectation that we will be asking customers to do the self-install. Again, keeping in mind, in the back of your mind, that these headsets that we selected are far less complicated than that example I gave of hundreds of different Plantronics options with, trying to figure out what cord goes with what and what setting on the back of the dial. These headsets were essentially made for the phones that we selected. So the self-install seems like a scary word, but for the most part, we really feel confident that because everything is standardized under one manufacturer, that this will be a non-issue. But of course, if a customer is specifically requesting assistance on getting their headsets up and running, that's a simple call into our support center, and we'll help them through that. So that being said, because headsets are now an official member of our Business Unlimited products and services, all of the support calls will go to our Network Operations Center, just like every other Business Unlimited product and service that we've brought into the portfolio. And any escalations for the headsets will follow our established Business Unlimited escalation process, along with all of the other BU features, products, services. Okay, so let's talk about the phones. This is the T33G. Again, you may remember from the first slide, this will be replacing the Mitel 6863. This is that common area phone. So this phone we are not recommending or really offering as a desk phone for an end user. In fact, the headsets that are in our offering are not compatible with this phone and are not available to purchase from Northland. Um, it's a basic phone. However, the features you see from upgraded color display down are actually all improvements and benefits from the Mitel 6863. So this one does have a color display, although it's very small and minimal. You can scroll through 4 different screens. There is a total of 12 programmable keys on this phone. In this phone, different than the Mitel version, does offer soft key functionality. So that means as you're navigating through that color display, the 4 buttons along the bottom will change based on what you're doing. So if I'm navigating through voicemail or if I move to a different screen, the way that I have the buttons programmed may give me a different option along those four buttons at the bottom of the display. This phone does offer dual port gig Ethernet. The handset per industry standard is hearing aid compatible. And what we found was the best benefit of this phone being that it will be our primary wall mounted phone and common area phone is that little stand you see sticking out of the side there actually comes off, it flips around and it will turn into a wall mount. So I know that that's been a fun cutover experience in the past where we have phones that were supposed to be wall mounted and the wall mount is nowhere to be found. Well, this phone has it built in, so that should make the install for these a bit more seamless the day of the cutover. Right. So the T54W, this will be our most commonly used phone. So this is the one that is replacing the current Mitel 6867i model. As you can see, the color display is much larger and it is not grayscale as it is on the Mitel phone. The display, you can kind of tell from the photo, you can adjust it forward and backward. It basically can lean forward and lean backward. And this phone opens up those feature functionality options that we were talking about earlier. The hot desking, the visual voicemail, the conference management tool is all built right into the options as you navigate through the display. I did skip over IACD integration, but I do want to point this out. So IACD, or Integrated Automatic Call Distribution, if you're not familiar, is essentially a hunt group on steroids. It's an add-on to Business Unlimited. This is a feature that we added into the portfolio about 6 months to a year ago. And it allows for agents that operate within a hunt group to be able to see how many calls are in queue, for the supervisor to be able to listen in on those calls, for agents to be able to use disposition codes if they need to go to lunch or on break or leave early for an appointment, and all of the things within the group that the agents and supervisor are doing are reportable. So the nice thing about, and in the previous life with these phones, when we were using the Mitel models, in order to access all that information that I just rattled off, the supervisor and the agent would have to have open a second monitor or a tab in their browser to be able to see those things, to be able to put their disposition codes in, to be able to see how many calls are in queue. Well, this phone now has the feature capability to be able to navigate to that information right on the display. So some people may prefer to continue to do that through their browser, but some people like to have everything all in one place. So customers using IACD will be able to view and access that information through the phone if they wish. Bluetooth compatible, it's built in. You can hook up any Bluetooth device to it that you wish, just like you can with your cell phone. Again, dual port, gig Ethernet ports on the back. This is a Linux operating system, and handset is also hearing aid compatible. This phone does require a separate wall mount kit, It's a little bit of a larger phone, so it would be generally discouraged to wall mount this, but there may be situations where we may have to do so. We do need to make sure that we have this specific wall mount kit made for this phone to be able to get it hung up on the wall. And our new phone model, the T58A, this is our new third phone option. The upgraded color display. This display is also adjustable, and the cool thing about this is it is a touchscreen. So right at the top where it says Yealink, there is actually a USB port there, and coming soon toward the end of the year, we will be offering a camera add-on for this phone that plugs right into the top and allows for seamless video calling through the device. This one also has that IACD integration that I described for the T54. This is an Android operating system, also with Bluetooth compatibility. I do want to point out that even though it is an Android operating system, there's no Play Store, we're going to have it locked down, so we're not letting customers go in and download games and apps and that sort of thing. But built into this is the ability to integrate your Outlook, calendar, and email right into options on your touchscreen, which is really nice to be able to use your phone as you're making calls and pull up your calendar, check your email. It does also have a built-in web browser. So, if you want to stream music or do whatever it is while you're working, you can do that right from the phone. And this one also does require a separate wall mount kit, but again, probably discourage this one being even larger than the T54 to mount this one on the wall. Add-on module, again, for consistency purposes, this also has a color display like all of the other phones. You can daisy chain 3 of these together to allow 180 programmable buttons. So each one has 20 and each one has 3 buttons. Put 3 of them together. Fairly certain that's 180. Don't quote me on that because simple math is not my forte. These add-on modules, expansion modules, excuse me, are only compatible with the T54 and the T58. So again, to discourage the use of the T33 as a desk phone option, the expansion modules are not compatible with that T33 model. So let's talk about headsets for a few minutes. The 2 USB options that we offer are called UH36, dual, and mono. So again, from a comfort level, looking at what our customers are using, these are the exact same headset. One is over one ear, one is over both ears. The nice thing is that you can use this headset because it is a USB with your phone on your every phone, or I'm sorry, not every phone, the T54 and the T58 have a USB port in the back of the phone. So if I'm a person who works in the office and my desk or my phone is at my desk in the office, but maybe I work from home a few days a week, I can just take this headset both places with me and plug it into my phone while I'm in the office. And then when I'm working from home, it plugs right into the USB port on my laptop. 3 non-display decked headsets are 2 over the head. Again, 1 dual, 1 mono, with some settings buttons here on the cradle. And then we do have an in-ear option that is non-display for those who prefer that comfort level to wear the headset within their ear. And then we have 2 display options, also decked to the phone. One is over the head. This one only comes in dual, so this does not have a mono option. And this one is the in-ear option. Both do have the display. And one thing we do like to point out about these is that if you dock your headset on the cradle, this part of the display here at the bottom is actually a speakerphone, and it will automatically toggle you between the speakerphone on your display or the headset if the headset is undocked and you're wearing it on your head. So a cool little feature. The display will basically just get you into your general user settings and allow you to put a background on your display and that type of thing, but functions as a speakerphone as well. Okay, and I just kind of rushed through the end of that headset thing because I did a quick time check for myself. And I see that we're a little over the 30-minute mark. I'm going to stop my share, and me and my panelist friends will turn on our video and talk through some questions. I do see there's some in there. Hi, everyone.
Hello. We have a question from Liz. Can you clarify if a current customer needs to order additional Mitel phones, will they get Mitel phones?
Yeah, so for current customers, if they call in for either a trouble ticket or a work order. So the trouble ticket is kind of the obvious one, something wrong with the phone. Through our troubleshooting process, our network operations center determines they need a phone replacement. We will be replacing the Mitel set with the exact same set that they called in for. If a customer is calling in on a work order basis, so maybe they're expanding their current office or adding an employee, if they are still within a contract, we will provide them with the exact same phone at the additional quantity that they need. If it's one employee, one. If it's an office expansion of 5 or 6, they'll still get 5 or 6 of the exact Mitel phones that are within the rest of their office. Does that answer your question? Okay.
That was really all we had, unless anyone wants to send in another question.
Okay.
All right. Well, if there are no more questions, we want to thank you again for joining us today, and thank you to Stephanie, Stacy, and Jay for being here and putting together this presentation. And just be on the lookout for an email that includes the slide deck and a pricing sheet for you to have. And if you have any additional questions, just reach out to your sales rep. And have a great day. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.